Hey everyone, what's up? This is Subhamir. In this video, I just wanted to show you the entire process of how I set up a US LLC and got a Stripe account to accept global payments. So first, let's talk about the problem. Like, why do you even need to get a US LLC? So if you are running an agency, you're from India and you're working with US clients, then there is no way to collect payments via debit or credit cards. Like most payment platforms in India only allowed us to take bank transfer. Like I have tried all sorts of different payment platforms, like whether it's Wise, Skydo, Xflow, and few different, and all of them have the same option to only accept bank transfer. None of them have a feature to send direct payment links. And bank transfer is a hassle. Like no one wants to do that. Like literally, it's funny. I have been hundreds of sales calls so far, and most people don't even know how to do a bank transfer. Some of my clients literally go to the bank with my invoice and show my invoice to their bank, and their bank do the bank transfer. Like their bank initiate the bank transfer, and that's how I got some of my money, right? So it is very inconvenient for them, and that's why we need to get a payment platform to accept payments via card to make the process convenient for them as well, right? And all of these payment platforms that allow us to send direct payment links and collect payments via debit and credit cards are outside of India, and that's why we need to set up our business in the US. So in order to get a good payment platforms, you need to have two things. Number one, you need to get a US LLC, and like that means you have to register your business in the US. And second, you need to get a US bank account, right? And then once you have these two things, then you can get a suitable payment platforms like a Stripe, WOP, fan basis. All these payment platforms are suitable to send direct payment links and collect payments via cards, right? So I'm going to show you the exactly how I got my US LLC, what platform I have used, how much money does it cost, what document it is required, and how much time does it like usually take to set up the entire thing. Okay, so let's deep dive into it. So I applied to get a US LLC on 18th of January, and I got everything set up within a month. Okay, and since I did not have my passport, so I got rejected from the bank. Like after I got my US LLC, I applied to get a US bank account, but like it got rejected because I did not have the passport with myself, right? So then I applied to get a passport in February, and then on 27th of March I got my passport. And once I got my passport, then everything went through properly, and then finally we have my US LLC set up. I got my bank approved properly in Mercury Bank, okay? And then finally I got a Stripe account, which is a payment platform, right? So everything went through properly. So let's talk about how you can also apply to get a US LLC. So I have used a platform called Legal Co, like legal.co. It is a platform that allows individuals from India to register their businesses in the US, right? It is like that is their main core service that they offer, because if that is something you wanted to do it by yourself, it is going to be very challenging for you. So you need someone who can guide you throughout the entire process, who will handle the entire process from your end, so you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, so that is the platform I have used to register my US LLC. So what you can do, just go to the legal.co and just send them a message on WhatsApp, and they will take care of the entire process from US LLC setup to bank setup, and to finally get you a payment platforms on a Stripe, right? So just message them on WhatsApp. They will ask you what exactly you want, and then they will send all the details, like what are things they would need from you to initiate the process of getting your US LLC, right? So let's talk about what are the documents you would need so that it will be more convenient for you. Okay, so to get a US LLC, you need Aadhaar card, your business name, and address. If you have passport, that's well and good. But if you do not have a passport, that is still fine. You can still get your US LLC done. And since your US LLC setup is usually takes around 3 to 4 weeks. In the meantime, you should also apply to get a passport if you do not have that, because even if you get your US LLC, then banking setup will be an issue for you. That's what the exact problem I have faced. So apply if you do not have a passport, apply to get a US LLC, and in the meantime apply to get a passport as well. Usually it takes like 2 to 3 weeks max to get a passport. Okay, so after a month you will have your US LLC as well and a passport ready, right? And once you have your US LLC and a stripes like your passport, then you just tell them that hey, we have passport, and then they will use your passport to go to the bank and then create you account, okay, a US based account, right? So in order to get bank and a Stripe, you need these four documents, which is first is passport, second a US phone number. You need to have US phone number so you can buy it from Go High Level or any other platforms, whether it's Skype or any other platform, I don't remember. So you can use those, like some of the platforms, to have a US phone number, because where you are going to get the OTP, things like that. And you need to have a business email, not a normal email. You need to have a business email, okay, and a website is mandatory, because that is something which is going to determine whether you're going to get approved properly or not. You need to have website. If you do not have website, they will ask a bunch of questions which is not suitable. So get yourself a decent website for your agency or any other business that you do, so that everything goes properly. Okay, so you need to have passport, US phone number, business email, and a website to get your bank and a Stripe set up. Okay, now let's talk about the time required to do the entire process and to set up everything. So as I told you, like, to get your US LLC, it usually take around like 4 weeks, so around a month. Okay, and once you have your US LLC and you have a passport ready as well, then it usually just take few days to get you a bank set up and a Stripe account. So I got everything set up within uh, like 3-4 days max, so up to a week. Yeah, once you get your US LLC, then within a week you will have your bank set up and a Stripe account set up, and they will handle the entire process for you. That's the crazy part. Okay, but yeah, last but not the least, let's talk about how much money does it cost you to set up the entire process. So it is usually going to cost you around $350 to $400 for the entire setup, whether from like to getting your US LLC to bank setup to finally get your Stripe account. Okay, and they will, like, legal.co is the main platform where you will pay. I think they usually charge $350 for their services, right? I got a small discount, so I paid only $300. I'll put a screenshot here. Okay, so yeah, I paid $300. They started the process, everything went through. So that is the platform that you can also use if you wanted to set up a US LLC and get a payment platform. The best part, these legal.co, it is team. They handles everything, the entire process, so you don't have to chase anyone. You don't have to chase multiple solutions for different thing. They are like one-stop solution for you to get your US LLC set up and bank set up and a payment platform as well. Okay, so yeah, that's the entire process. That's how much time, money, and documents are required in order to set up a US LLC. Okay, if you have any questions, to let me know. Yeah, one last thing I wanted to tell you is that if you are thinking whether you should get a US LLC or not, so I would recommend, if you are making at least $500 to $1,000 in your agency and you want it to scale, you are consistently booking more sales call, but if and you feel like that you want it to take like payments directly on the call, close on the on the spot, then you need to have this setup. This is a small investment, but it will serve you in the long term, because if that is something you wanted to build, you wanted to be in the agency game, scale it to whatever number of revenue you wanted to hit. So you should be getting that. If you are making few $100, if you're just starting out, this does not make sense. So first get a few clients, get a little bit of money, and once you start ramping up a little bit, you start getting more sales calls, then you should absolutely invest your money into getting your a good payment platform. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the entire process. If you have any questions, to let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.